a lot of these guys, right? This is the thing, right? A lot of these guys that was on 50 side, like the Manos, the Papooses, and the Jim Jones that was dissing him, they all rocking with Rick Ross now. Ain't that crazy?
Pin it up.
All right, what you think about the Rick Ross, Uncle Murda, Tony Yayo beef?
So this is my opinion on that. So Rick Ross and Tony Yayo, you already know this G Unit and MMG beef been going on since 2009.
Right.
I understand Yayo's perspective. I understand Uncle Murda's perspective. But I also could look at Rick Ross. Yeah, he was a CO, but there's a lot of people that were COs that were gangsters. It was a lot of people that were COs that brought contraband in. I just feel like Ross was kind of wrong for suing Remy Ma, because if the movie is not based on you, you didn't say it's the Rick Ross story. It's a story about a rapper that was a CO. You taking it personal, beloved. You can't get mad about a movie that ain't have your name to it. So I think that was type corny, but Ross do what he want to do. And I could hear what Uncle Murda saying. Uncle Murda feel the way he feel. He said, yo, Rosetta, I don't understand how dudes could rock with Rick Ross when he lied about his street. Because, when Rick Ross first came out, before Trick Daddy put out those pictures about him, like, Rick Ross was very believable.
Right.
Panda. Like, I remember seeing Rick Ross in 2006 on some show, and he had the glasses on, and he was talking real gangster. So I was like, oh, this dude is a dangerous dude. He looked like how he sound on his records. And then it wasn't until I read the Vibe magazine, and I was on MySpace at the time, and they had these pictures of this dude, and he was in the uniform. And when I saw that, and then I saw how he reacted on BET when he did the interview with Tigger, and he said that how he was a part of a team, and basically the homie put him in the situation and all this, and he was doing a lot of explaining what he didn't have to do all that. You had a job, you had a job. You didn't have to do all of that to point it out. And
I think he handled that situation the wrong way. I think he should have just been like, yo, that's how I met my connect. Yeah, I was bringing work in, whatever, past the statute of limitations.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was doing dirty work. You know what I'm saying? Like, he could have got away with that, but because he lied about it at first, and then he got cornered, and then he had to admit it, it looked really bad.
Yeah. Yeah, it did look bad, and he made himself look bad. And he made himself look bad to the point where it was no return. And I don't understand why he had to make himself look bad. Because, and then a lot of these guys, right? This is the thing, right? A lot of these guys that was on 50 side, like the Manos, the Papooses, and the Jim Jones that was dissing him, they all rocking with Rick Ross now.
Yeah.
Ain't that crazy?
That is, man.
Because the other day I was watching a video, right, with Mano, how he was going at Rick Ross for lying about being a CO. And I'm like, damn, y'all ain't staying on business. But hey, somebody, they need a feature. You know what I mean? They need a feature.
You can't change. You can't hate on the fact that he does make good music, regardless of his.
He make great music.
Yeah,
Rick Ross make great music.
Regardless of his his history or whatever, right? Like, I'm not a hater, so I can't say like, oh, he just whack, whatever. He do.
No, he's not whack.
Yeah,
he's a great rapper. He has great beat selection.
Yep.
He makes great music. He's not whack at all. I think a lot of people don't like him because he lied about his origins, and his story. But other than that, the man make great music.
And he hilarious and entertaining too. You know what I'm saying? But but I think Yayo was right when he said that street credibility went out the window around the G Unit beef time. Because
it did. Like, I think after, like, when they had the beef with Kanye, And after that, and then Lil Wayne came in, and then Rick Ross came in, I think the rap game, it changed when it comes to the trajectory of you have to be real. And I think that the rap game was past that real that culture.
Yeah, because
And
if
it
this
was
shit
really
happened
about,
in the 90s, I don't think Ross would have made it. His career wouldn't have gone on. You know what I'm saying? But
no, I don't think so either.
yeah, but I think that what Yayo was saying, he said money don't make you uncorny. He said that you just shit with glitter on top, though. Like, Yayo was wilding for saying that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what about Gunplay getting invited to come on their podcast, man? And he accepted.
That's very interesting. That's very interesting. That's gonna be an interesting conversation. But I'm gonna say this though, right, Panda? Rick Ross should treat his people correctly. Cause for Gunplay to get on a podcast with Yayo and Uncle Murda, and he's letting bygones to be bygones, and he took a hit for the team.
Yeah, after he got jumped at the award show, remember?
He got jumped at the award show and all that. And his chain got taken, and I mean, you gotta respect him on, he letting it go, because at the end of the day, Ross don't respect him. Like I watched the video when he gave Ross the chain, and Ross didn't really he ain't really care for the gift,
right?
And like a lot of people, like Envy was saying this when he was beefing with Envy. Ross and Envy was beefing. He said, "Yo, your man gotta go fund me for his daughter, and you're not helping your man out." And like Gunplay, his projects never came out. The Triple C's album flopped, and he really never was able to drop an album. He was signed to the man. He was originally in that man's group. Ross was so focused on Wale, Rocky Fresh, Stally, Meek Mill, French.
But Gunplay had joints though too, so you can't say that he didn't have no joints.
No, he had joints, but what I'm saying is like he didn't feel like he should focus on a Gunplay project.
Right. I know. But what I'm saying though is that somebody watching this, they'll probably be like, "Oh, well, Gunplay's whack. He probably didn't have no joints, but he did have joints."
No. Gunplay had joints. He had joints. Dash he had a lot of joints.
Bible on the dash, right? Yeah.
Bible on the dash. Like he had a lot of joints, but it's just Ross. He saw that Meek Mill was the meal ticket. Wale is the meal ticket. He saw money in that. Rocky Fresh, Stally, that was what he saw was the meal ticket for MMG. And that's what he put on the back of MMG, because MMG was around before Meek and Wale came, but it's just his focus when he got them, it was on them.
Yeah, but the fucked up thing though is that he's known Gunplay for 30 years, bro.
Yeah, he known for a long time.
He was like shower homie. Yeah, since 15, bro. Since Gunplay was 15 years old. So I get it. If he's not gonna be the star of the label, but at least make sure his paperwork right or something, right? You know what I mean? But it just looked bad if he's out here having to rob people because he can't get his album out.
Yeah, Gunplay had to put in a lot of work. Gunplay was out there, got himself in some situations where he the accountant situation with the gun was at the accountant, the situation with his baby mother. So it was a lot of situations that Gunplay got involved with where he should not got involved with when you signed to somebody like Rick Ross. And like you said, he knew Rick Ross for years. This is like a childhood homie. So yeah, I could see why Gunplay was mad.
Shit, I mean, Gunplay is the one that assaulted Vlad with the bottle.
Yes, he did. He put in the work on Vlad. That's a fact.
That's crazy.
And Rick Ross had to give Vlad that $300,000, and that's why we got the Vlad and the platform that we got, because of that assault. Just being honest.
Yeah.
He got assaulted and he came up. So,
Yeah, man, that's crazy. But are you excited to see Gunplay go on Tony Yayo and Uncle Murda's podcast?
Yeah, I'm happy to see that. I think that's good. I think that shows growth. I think that's good for both parties. You know, they get to hash it out, and yeah, it'd be good. It'd be good for the platform, and it'd be good for both of them, man. It'd be good for both of them, man.